wise man will change, a fool will stay the same. If you want to stay stuck, stay stuck. But I'm going this way. And true friends, they gonna support you throughout whatever.
Absolutely.
Even your growth.
If an up and coming artist says, "Give me some advice,"
My advice would be define who you are and what you are and be clear on that. Meditate on that. And then live and die by it.
But since you
well, because we were talking about feeling, and I know
yeah.
I know that's what the universe has given me.
So
one of the things it's given me is like the ability to make things, is to reverse engineer a feeling and make a tangible item.
I want the problems. I want the smoke because I know that's the only way to evolve. You can't get better without struggle. You can't be great without being uncomfortable. So I push myself to that, and that comes with struggle. It comes with fight. And when you fighting for love, then everybody that fights for hate comes at you. So I'm right with it because love is stronger than everything. So line those problems up so I can shut them shits the fuck down.
But if you make good decisions today, well, we found this out with our NFL study, that you can start to improve your brain within 2 months. It's like, how exciting is that? And with a better brain, everything in your life is better, from your body to your money to your relationships to the level of innovation.
To good. One of my patients said, "I divorced the wife I loved," which is a very sad thing to hear, because what happens is we get used to the goodness and start focusing on imperfections. And there are several other neural predispositions. I've just shared a few of them. So what happens is these neural predispositions take away from enjoying life. And that is what I realized. So happiness is very little to do with having too much resources or not having malnutrition or infections. Happiness is really that inner state.
The happiest people I know were very uncertain for a long time. And their decisions, I saw this on Dirty Jobs over and over, people ultimately wound up in their vocation because they looked around to see where everybody else was going, and they went the other way. And then what they were confronted with was, okay, there's an opportunity cleaning septic tanks.
Right.
It's not my wish fulfillment, but it needs to be done and nobody's doing it. A year later, you're getting good at it. 2 years after that, you got 3 trucks and 5 employees. Pretty soon, you're passionate about other people's crap because now you've made a pile of money and now you have 2 homes.
And no one else wants to do it.
That's right. So you've got job security, or some of what I think, honestly. And we were chatting, earlier about that. There was a terrible article in the New York Times. I forget who wrote it.
Did you call it The Modern Man?
It was called The Modern Man. And it was just a list. It was a good-natured list of qualities today that define the modern man. And, one of them was like, the modern man today looks after his children's electronic devices and makes certain they're plugged in before the family goes to bed. The modern man today would never own a gun. He has no reason for it. The modern man today, and it goes down the list, and I just thought, there's not a single one of these things I agree with. So as a good-natured rejoinder, I wrote, the man's man, a man's man owns a gun. He owns a gun because he knows it's the best way to protect himself and his family. He also makes sure he can disassemble it and put it back together. He's accomplished with it on the range, and he understands what safety is. A man's man, lets his children learn through cold experience how frustrating it is when their iPhone isn't charged the next morning and goes to bed himself the following night confident in the knowledge that they'll be better for it.
Right.
So anyway, that conversation, which I really just
You posted an article about this.
I posted the exact same thing
with
my rejoinders.
Wow, interesting. I'll have to see that. We'll have to link it up.
It's somewhere out there in the ether, but 9 million people read it.
Wow. What's it called? It's called The Man's Man.
Man's Man versus Modern Man.
I'll have to link this up for sure.
But look, again, I wasn't trying to make a point. I was sitting home drinking Dos Equis at 9 o'clock on a Saturday, and I did it to amuse myself.
Sure.
But then, like so many other things, I went on Facebook and I posted it. And then the next morning.
It blew up.
Right. So now I'm on Good Morning America.
But is there anything you discovered there that's been helpful for your acting?
Empathy for my father, who was always the biggest villain in my life, and I think if you can empathize with the biggest villain in your life and sort of scrape some of these shadows, and it makes you lighter and freer. I don't think I was leading with love, and my life has changed. you may or may not attest, but I feel like when you lead with lightness and love, you can get to the heavy easier. You know, it's much easier, it's much more accessible. Like anger and the rough shit is very easy. You know, it's the other stuff that feels quite difficult. You know,
what you should work towards is doing what you enjoy doing right now, enjoying your life right now, enjoying your friends right now, enjoying whatever hobbies you like to pursue, whatever, you know, love affairs and friendships and all that stuff is what life is. Life is the moment, being in the moment. And we somehow have turned it into this weird like journey to a very specific points of high school graduation, college graduation, good job, marriage, children. We have all these like milestones that are supposed to impart happiness in this race, and they're not real. They're social constructs, and we've created these social constructs, and we've fed into them and passed them down from generation to generation without anybody stepping back and going, well, who set this up?